So what is a 5-in-1 reflector, besides a really good deal?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
5-in-1 reflector. What is it and what can it be used for? So the 5-in-1 reflector is 5 reflectors in one, hence the diagram. So what is a reflector? A reflector is used to help bounce excess light onto your subject. So let's say you have a key light off to the side, nice looking image, you got that nice contrasty look, but it's just a little too dark and you're losing a lot of detail on the side of your subject's face. You can use a reflector to help bounce some of that excess light onto your subject so that way you can showcase a little bit more detail in their face or just whatever's being filmed. Now, something I mentioned in a previous video, or if I didn't, I'll mention it right now, is that for a reflector, you can use white paper, white cloth, a white construction paper, anything to help kind of bounce that light. So what's the benefit of getting a 5-in-1 reflector when you can just use that? So I think white is the most common bounce that people use. There's other tools a part of this, hence the 5-in-1, that you can use to help bounce the light in certain ways or incorporate it into your project certain ways. So let's go over it real quick. What are the 5 components that come in the 5-in-1 reflector? I feel like we're going to be saying 5-in-1 a lot here. So the 5 components is silver, black, gold, white, and diffusion. So let's break down what each one is. So first off, silver is going to create a much stronger bounce to bounce the light further to your subject. So it's really good for sunlight where you can have the subject anywhere. The sun can be anywhere and you'll be able to help bounce that light onto your subject to keep them correctly exposed. But it's also going to really accentuate the highlights compared to a white diffusion. Now, if we flip this over, we'll go ahead and see the black. Now, something you may have learned in the past is that black doesn't reflect light, it absorbs light. So what this can help with is what a lot of people call it is the negative fill. They can help absorb the light. So that way, if you are trying to get that more contrast look or push that contrast a little bit more shadow on the side of your face, more of a mood, you can put this up to the side of your subject to pull away and add more shadow to your subject. So you can use this to also block out unwanted light that you can't control. So once we do that, we'll have to unzip the reflector, and then inside we'll notice another circle, and this is our diffusion. So the diffusion is to help soften the light. So similar to a light dome or a softbox, this is going to help soften that light. So if you have a light, and let's say you don't have a softbox, or you're outside and you're using the sun, and it's a sunny day, it's not overcast, and it's very harsh lighting, you can help use that to soften the light on your subject. So that way it's not as harsh shadows and you're getting softer shadows. Then once we flip the 5-in-1 reflector inside out, re-zip it up. Now, when we look at the two other sides, we'll have gold, which helps create a nice warm look to your subject or can add a little bit of warmth to your subject, especially good on a cold day. And then on the other side, we're going to have white, which is one that is the most common one we talked about a little bit earlier, which helps create a nice soft shadow, a lot more of a softer look. So that's what a 5-in-1 reflector is. It's used to help reflect, diffuse, and remove light from your subject. When you want to place a 5-in-1 reflector, you can either have somebody hold it for you, you can clamp it onto a light stand, or you can get a 5-in-1 reflector holder. That's the official name. Trust me, I sometimes know what I'm talking about. So what this does is it will help hold the reflector in place, and then you can push it. You can put it on top of your light stand, and there's a ball head on this, so that way you'll be able to maneuver and move the light around a little bit more to your liking. So that way you can really angle it the way that you need. Now, once you get your whole setup set up, you may realize, now of course traveling with a 5-in-1 reflector is a little bit hard because these things are a little big. So you are able to fold these up. I'm going to try my best to explain this. I feel like it's one of those things that I just knew how to do but didn't know how to do, if that makes sense. So, and I may cut to another shot if I have a better one. So what you'll do is you'll hold it with both hands. You're going to turn your right hand in, your left hand out, and it's going to curve in just like this. And this flap will go underneath your right hand flap. That's a weird way to say it. And once you go in, you'll hug them together. And boom, it's just like that. 5-in-1 reflector is set. And then you can do what I did earlier and just be like, hey, did someone bring the 5-in-1 reflector? Got it. And just like that. Boom. So that's what is and how you can use a 5-in-1 reflector. Now, I do have a link to a few of these in the show notes below and the reflector holder thingamabobber. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below and we'll see you next time. Dab me in the neck.